everyone, this is Gail from Rainbow Food Rocks and Rainbow Healing and Wellness, and I'm the author of this book here, which you can find on Amazon. We're going to make some Cossack sauce with ingredients that almost all come from my garden. So if you haven't seen, I have garden videos on this channel, and I also have them on Rainbow Healing and Wellness. Last year during the shelter in place, I started growing my own food. And if you open up my recipe book on page 86, you can find this recipe. There is also a PDF version if you want that. That's on Dr. Paul Cottrell's website for his store. So you can go look that up. I'll put a link in the description box. So we're going to make this lovely dish here. There's a green Cossack and a red Cossack, and the difference is that one has meat and one does not. So if you are a meat eater, you can add kielbasa with this. That's how I grew up saying it in New York. And if you're not a meat eater, then you just have this with potatoes, and I like to add some tomatoes sometimes. So let's get at it, shall we? So we're going to put this down here. Now this is, actually before I even begin, check this out. So this is celery from my garden, and this isn't even one of my thicker ones, but look at this. And we can actually blend this with tops and all. I like to juice these a lot, and I have a massive amount in my yard. So we'll go ahead and cut these, and then it's pretty much going to be that we're going to take all of these ingredients, and we're going to put them in the blender and blend it up. And it's really, truly that simple. So I'll read to you some of the ingredients while I go ahead and chop the celery. So you'll want about 6 to 8 celery ribs. So one of these would be a rib of a whole stalk. And then you'll want a bunch of green onions. And I'll pause here for a second because I want to show you. I already chopped this up because I had my harvest day a few days ago. You can see that video again on the Rainbow Food Rocks channel here. So I already have green onions and fresh parsley and a massive amount of dill, and I have 2 types of parsley. I have the curly and I have the flat, so I'll kind of show you like this. So as I'll go along here, I'll show you anything that comes to mind. So yes, you need a bunch of green onions, 3 garlic cloves, and I went ahead and cut up my garlic. So I'm sure most people know what garlic looks like. So here's garlic, here it is, all chopped up, ready to be blended. So you'll want 3 of those chopped up, and then you'll want 1 cucumber, and I've gone ahead and done that. And then you'll want, now if you're doing it by the boxes, you'll probably want 2 of the 3/4 ounce boxes of fresh dill. However, if you're getting dill from your garden, then you just need about 1 cup's worth. And you can go over a little bit, it's okay. These recipes, they're pretty flexible. In fact, most of my recipes are really flexible unless you're baking. For baking, you do want the exact measurements, but for everything else, you can kind of go with your tastes. And I forgot to bring over some salt and pepper, so at some point I'll have to go behind me and get the nettle salt and pepper, because if anyone knows me, it's always nettle salt and pepper on everything. That's a meal for me. Okay, so what else do we have for ingredients? So then you'll want 2 cups of the Italian parsley, and that is the flat one, but I add a little curly, and again, that's where you can just be a little flexible and add what you like. And we'll want 1 cup of lemon juice, so I went ahead and juiced, here's my little handheld juicer, about a cup's worth. And if you go over or under a little bit, it's no big deal. It's really whatever you prefer for your taste buds. So I just went and took 2 lemons and juiced those. And what else do we have here? Oh, a side note. A lot of people wonder if I actually garden in my dress. So I actually wore my gardening outfit, which is kind of like a workout outfit. So here you have it, no dress. All right, what else do we have here? So a cup of filtered water. This way it blends really nicely. And then, what else will we want? A 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. So I'm using this version, I can't even say it, version. It's the Sicilia PGI Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil. So you can see right here, this is the one I'm using. I'm not sponsored by this company. I'm just showing you what I use. And what else do we have? So a teaspoon of sea salt or nettle salt. So in my recipe book, again, the title is Rainbow Food Rocks, just like this channel that you're watching. In there, you'll find the recipe for nettle salt, which is really easy. You just take nettle and you grind it up, and then you do a 1-to-1 ratio with Celtic sea salt or whatever other salt that you prefer. I don't like to use the traditional table salt because if anyone has read my story, which is on my website for free, you don't have to get the book to read it, it's just 3 pages, you'll understand that I took out wheat, dairy, corn, soy, and eggs to help heal my 3 children and eventually myself. And it's quite the story, and it's all true, and everyone's great nowadays. So you can go on my website, it's www.rainbowfoodrocks.com, and you need to go to the menu section, because right away it'll just take you to a few recipes. I am not an expert on how to do websites, so the best I could do was get for you that first page, and then from there, when you go in the menu, it's like a box with 3 lines. You just press that and then look for the story, and that will give you all the information you'll need to know why I'm doing what I'm doing and how exactly I did what I did, minus a few details. If you really want to get into the nitty-gritty, I would suggest setting up a consultation call, and if you're looking for healing, I would suggest setting up a 15-minute free call about the Reiki services I offer, and I will soon be a certified life coach. So if you're going in that direction where you want consultations and coaching and hands-on healing or remote healing, please do just look at my website, and it gives you my email address. Just contact me. Please don't use the website to contact me. It does not link to my email address. So please make sure to go to info @rainbowfoodrocks.com, and that's the best way to get a hold of me directly. Please do not try to message me through the website. It won't work. So let's continue. So we had that the sea salt or the nettle salt, and then the black peppers, a teaspoon of black pepper. And then if you want to decorate with tomatoes, you can, but you don't have to. And what you'll also want to do, and I'll show you kind of over here. I have a slow cooker back there. I don't know if you can see it. Nope, it's just out of your view. Okay, so I have a slow cooker back there, and that slow cooker has some potatoes in there. So again, in my recipe book, I go over how you can use a slow cooker. You just put it on high, you wash your potatoes, you stick it in there, nothing else, and just wait about 5 hours, and you'll have nice baked potatoes. And you don't have to boil them. It keeps the nutrients in. It cooks them, so that's what I do, and it's just easy peasy. That recipe is in my book if you have forgotten what I just said or you just want to copy on your own. And without further ado, let's start adding some of the liquids, so we can just start by blending the celery. Now, sometimes I run out of room in my blender, and when that happens, you can just put things in a bowl or Pyrex, and then you can kind of reblend. I try to fit everything in blender, but it does happen every once in a while that you can't fit everything. And for those of you that are going, okay, that's great, Gail, I don't have one of these fancy Ninja blenders. So this Ninja blender, and I'm not sponsored by this company, I got it at Costco, and I want to say it was like maybe $70 or $80. It wasn't that expensive. But if you have one of those glass ones, those $20 old-fashioned ones, I think I have one in here actually, I'm trying to see if I can find it for you. You can do the same thing in this. You don't have to spend the money on a Ninja blender. So when I came up with all these recipes, before I even had my garden, I wanted to have recipes that you could pretty much do with your basic kitchen items. You can do them mostly while traveling and so on and so forth, as long as you have the ingredients. So I just kind of eyed a half a cup of olive oil, and then I'm going to do a cup of water. So I already put in my lemon juice, and I'm just going to grab some water. I'm sorry I'm out of the screen for a moment. Put some water in there. Looks good. Now, I've been doing this long enough, I can just eye things. If you don't feel that confident, please just go ahead and use the measurements. And I'll add some of the garlic down here too. So it's 3 cloves of garlic. So it's like, if you chop it up, just about 3 teaspoons. And again, I'm just going to eye it because that's the way I roll in my kitchen. I've been doing this again for quite some time now, as you'll see when you read my story. And if you don't get a chance to read my story, I've been doing this since 2015. So I do encourage anyone that has a child with autism spectrum disorder or ADHD to really read that story and take that information in, because it's very powerful of what I've done. And I have healed, and I've figured out how to heal that, which most people say cannot be done. So if you know someone that has that, please check out that, because it can be done. And it can be done naturally, and I know how to do it. But if I go around saying that, I'm sure somebody will have a lawsuit against me. So if you want some private consultations, just let me know. Some pointers in the right direction, depending on your financial capability. Again, just let me know. Okay, we're gonna blend this. It's gonna be a little loud, so bear with me. That's not too bad though, compared to some other blenders, right? My cup of Genontic while that's blending. So Genontic, and again I'm not sponsored, makes a really good coffee substitute. So if you're hooked on coffee and you want to switch off, check out Genontic. And it has that like bitter taste just like coffee. So I really, really like it. Another good one is, in my recipe book is the dandelion coffee. So that's another good coffee substitute. Alright, let's check it out. Alright, so it's looking green. It's going to be a green sauce. And really, really healthy for you too, if you think about all the ingredients that are in it. So I'm going to do cucumbers because those will give us a bunch of liquid, which is awesome. You want the liquid so it blends easily. And that's a trick when you're working with a blender. You want to make sure that you have a good base of liquids before you start that blending. Otherwise, it's really hard to blend. So that's why you saw I put most of the liquids in first, and now I'm going with other liquid kind of items. And then I'll go with my herbs. So here we go, blending again. Hold your ears. Look at how beautiful these are. So let's see what I can pick out for you here. Let's see if I can find my green onions. I got so many green onions. Yeah, here we go. Look at these green onions. So my daughter, she's actually making these really cool recipes right now, and I'm going to take a picture later, and maybe I'll talk about it in a future video. But she's using everything from the garden and recreating her own version of like totally green ways to eat like spaghetti and meatballs and stuff, which is really cute. So we'll do that in a separate video. Green onion, and what else do we have here? We got some parsley. Look at all this dill. They smell so good. I have fennel in my garden too. It's really cool. They're huge. It's great when you take those and you roast the bottom part, like you chop it in fourths. You put some garlic and onion powder, some salt and pepper, nettle salt, and then some olive oil, and just roast it in the oven. All right. Let's get the rest of this in, and then I think we're good to go. And my potatoes are still cooking, so unfortunately I won't be able to show you putting it over the potatoes. And there's someone behind me that has a question, but I cannot have her ask it yet, so please hold your question. I have some spectators here watching what I'm doing. They're my children. They do a good job, for the most part, keeping really quiet when I do these videos, which I really appreciate. Goodness gracious, you know what? I think I have even more than I need for this, so we might only need to blend one of these bowls worth. I harvested so much, I think I'm going to have enough for a double batch. So we'll blend this and we'll end it there, and I'll show you what it looks like. Again, you can put it over potatoes, and if you eat kibasi, you can put it over kibasi with your potatoes. It's a very popular Russian dish that, if you ever go to the fair in Seattle, it's like this fair where they, at the Bite, that's what it's called, the Bite. If you ever go to the Bite in Seattle, Washington, that's where they serve this. They have those little stands. I think they sell like the piroshkis and stuff like that. I can't remember, it's been a long time. So that's where I first tried this, and I was like, I need to figure out how to do this. So that's where this comes from. And we'll blend the last bit, and then you just get to see it's just super green. Not too much more to it. And so if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you want to get a hold of me for services, again, I go and do a lot of different healing modalities. And if you're looking for suggestions on how to heal your child or your loved one or yourself, feel free to email me. Again, I do 15-minute free calls. After that, I do charge depending on the service. So you can go from there. And since it's just sauce, I'm just gonna stop it and show you, and we'll end it here. So obviously you can see I need to blend it just a little bit more. And then this is what you'll pour over your potatoes. Yum. And it tastes fabulous. I know it looks like a bunch of green. When you put it over with the dill and everything, so good. So again, page 86 in my recipe book, it's listed as green Cossack and potatoes. And you can always put it over meat if you are a meat eater. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Ciao.